Under Committee Rule 9, I will now question witnesses under the 5-minute rule. I will recognize myself for 5 minutes. Dr. Hess, you mentioned the students interested in the 4 prominent left-leaning issues outnumber those interested in the 4 prominent right-leaning issues by better than 12 to 1. That's truly unbelievable, by the way. If the table were turned and liberal students were being discriminated against, the left would be irate. Are you aware of any federal education programs where conservatives win 12 times as much as liberals?
No, I am not. And I think it's important to understand here that this is not just about partisan balance. The point of the Truman is to recruit young Americans who are interested in public service so that they might serve the needs of the nation. This is about Americans who bring different values and different ideas to the table.
Thank you. I think we all can agree, and I'm going to ask Ms. Harrison a quick question, that any taxpayer funding should be opportunities, should not be discriminatory. Correct, right? Anything that taxpayers are paying for should not be discriminatory. It's easy, yes or no? Okay, thank you. There are millions and millions of black conservatives like myself. How many black conservatives have ever been selected as Truman Scholar?
Sorry, is that to me, sir?
Yes.
I don't think any of us know, right? Even the research that we're talking about today has only looked at a limited number of bios, and they're doing it based on their own research of social media and not having looked at the 3,500.
So there's no way to find out if this, in other words, we're trying to make sure that it is very open, very inclusive, and there's no way to see if any black conservatives ever have been selected as Truman. That should be a big deal. I would think that would be a really highlight of the Truman Scholarship Program to say we service everyone, including black conservatives.
I think the bigger deal is, does our higher education system as a whole service everyone? And what we're worried about are the millions of Americans, not the 50 or 60 a year.
Okay,
there are millions of Americans struggling in our higher education system.
And we're losing
right
that battle, by the way, because of liberal policy. So just, all right, thank you so much. Ms. Kabani, you mentioned the College Fix has been investigating Truman Foundation for nearly 10 years. One thing that struck out to me is how consistent your findings are each year. Liberal winners massively outnumber conservatives every single year, regardless of which party is in power, who's running office. What do you think this says about the program itself?
Well, what it says is that this program is essentially a talent pipeline and taxpayer-funded scholarship program for the Democratic Party and the liberal activist network. It also shows that the system is inherently broken. There's a systemic bias that starts at the campus level all the way up to the final decisions that needs to be reformed.
Thank you. Ms. Kissel, Mr. Kissel, you mentioned the program structure assumes that for-profit corporations in the private sector can never serve the public, and conversely, nonprofits, the government sector, always act in the public interest. Personally, I don't think either of this is true. Can you say more about why some types of for-profit work perhaps could count towards Truman public service requirements?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whenever there's a voluntary transaction, both sides are better off. That's Econ 101. When any public company or for-profit company is contributing to the public by selling goods and services that people want, they're engaging in a kind of public service. But maybe more to the point, lots of companies have a public service component to what they do. They'll have a philanthropy arm, they'll have a community outreach arm. And if you are in a field where you're helping the public, it shouldn't matter whether the structure of your organization is for-profit or nonprofit.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to yield back my time now to the ranking member recognized for the purpose of questions and witnesses.